Hello guys, welcome back to the hybrid model for another video. My name is T and let's get into it. So the focus of the video today is on a discovery I made recently. I have to say it's a tremendous discovery about my research and the implications it could have on society in terms of benefiting society if it was implemented into into the world as a tech product that people would use. And I have to say, guys, I didn't see this coming. So yeah, let's jump into it. Actually, no, before we do that, in case some of you are new and haven't watched some of my previous videos, especially the one where I explained about what my PhD is about, I urge you to check out the video that will be linked in I think it's the top right hand corner in like a card or something. Yeah, that will link you to that video about the video about where I talk about my PhD and what the focus is. And I'll also put the link in the description. So yeah, that's like two options for that one. But anyway, let's get back on track and talk about the focus of this video. So I'm going to provide some backstory to provide context for, for what I'm talking about today. So, as most of you most likely know, I have been working on my thesis, just chipping away at that bad boy over the last few months. And at the moment, I have been working on my on the methodology chapter to do with the research methodology. Jesus, I can't speak today. And I was having a meeting with my supervisory team and about the chapter, and what I've written, all the improvements that need to be made, changes, etc. And one of the supervisors asked me to provide more insight into the possible impact my research could have on society. Now, I didn't understand what he meant, and I wasn't clear on how to even go about doing this. So we had a bit of a discussion on it where he provided insight into the potential aspects of society that I could, not me, that my research could benefit or could impact in a positive manner. And these were an improved e-commerce experience for consumers, a potential reduction in the carbon footprint, and retailers benefiting from the data analytics provided by my research to help them improve, products and whatnot. And I'm gonna kind of dive into more detail on these three things to kind of make it more clear as to what he pointed out and why this shocked me, because I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't see this coming at all. I didn't mean let's just roll with it. So to kick off, I'm going to talk about how my research could potentially improve the e-commerce experience for consumers. So just to give a quick summary of what my research provides as an output, my research essentially takes in product reviews and analyzes them to predict the activity a product was used for by the consumers who provided the product reviews, obviously. And then the way I've envisioned how this could be implemented into the wider society is that on a product page, like on an Amazon product page, for example, it would provide like a summary table that would provide the activities that previous consumers who've bought the product have used it for, and whether or not they liked it. So the polarity, which is basically whether they were happy or unhappy with the product in that activity, essentially. And it kind of summarizes it and kind of provides totals and whatnot. That way, when a new buyer comes in, a potential new buyer comes in to look at the same product, They don't have to peruse all the different product reviews. Instead, they just look at this summary table, and then they can make a decision based on the activity they intend to use the product for. Because if it's a pair of trainers, for example, and they open the product page, and on the summary table for the running activity, it's all negative sentiment. Like everyone's giving negative reviews. Then they would pretty much just, instead of having to go and read the reviews, they could just skip and go to the next page about running trainers, or trainers for running. So it's more efficient, and then it's more targeted, because it means potential buyers don't have to waste time perusing a bunch of products. They can just look for products that are suitable for the activities they want to use the product for, buy those products, and get the hell off the e-commerce site and go do other things, because people are busy nowadays. Now, one thing I will say is, this is more suitable as a targeted product purchasing kind of mechanism, or improvement, I guess I'll call it, for consumers who are more, I go to Amazon, look for what I want to buy it, get out of there, I'm done. If you are a more relaxed consumer, or like a peruser, I guess I'll call you, this my research won't have the same impact for you, because you probably are happy just opening a bunch of product pages, reading the reviews, etc. Now, one thing I will say is, it might make your perusing more efficient, in the sense that you may not have to waste time reading those reviews, just have to look at the summary table, and then if it's something you like, or something that suits your intended activity, you could maybe shortlist that product and continue perusing. So your perusing might be more efficient. I don't know. Again, this is all speculation, because there are no guarantees that my research will do this, but these are things that could possibly happen. So that's why I keep using the word could, because these are potential impacts. I don't want anyone thinking I'm guaranteeing this whole kind of impact. It's potential, or possibilities, or probabilities, whatever. Pick one. Doesn't matter. Now, my research has the potential to also help reduce the carbon footprint, and this is because with targeted product purchasing, in effect, essentially, most consumers would purchase products they actually want to use, instead of purchasing products and trying them out, only to do like a return, and then either the delivery truck for that retailer has to come and collect it, or the consumer uses something like Royal Mail, or I don't know, Hermes or something, to do the return. That won't be needed as much, because you just purchase the product you really want, which means if there'll be less returns, which means less vans need to come and do collections for returns. They're just doing deliveries. So it's more one-way traffic, if you will, if that is a way of saying it. And that's good, because it just means there's less diesel and petrol being burnt and utilized to make these deliveries, which is good for, I guess, the carbon footprint. So yeah, that's another impact my research could potentially have. So I'm going to read you a quote from a set of researchers performing research in the waste management sector, who published a paper in a journal that is highly respected. And here's what they stated. Landfilling is the most common method of waste disposal, accounting for approximately 11% of global emissions and 50% of total emissions from the waste management sector. So yeah, that's interesting. Those are interesting figures, right? Now, my research could potentially help to reduce these emissions, because, again, going back to the targeted product purchasing, that would essentially lead to less items being disposed of by consumers, because they'd actually buy things they're going to use for, longer than just a short period of time. Or they wouldn't buy things as a trial period, and then they end up not being suitable for the activities they want to use them for. They'd actually buy items that are suitable to the intended activities, essentially, which means less items ending up in landfills, or less emissions being emitted from those landfills, essentially. So, yay. And for retailers, last but not least, the retailers, the people who sell stuff on e-commerce sites, they could utilize the data produced and provided by my research, essentially, to improve their products and make them more suited to the most common activities consumers are using their products for, basically. So instead of making a product that's more of a one-size-fits-all, they could more tailor their products to two specific activities, or a specific activity if it's a singular one is kind of more common. And that would mean they'd make better improvements towards matching those activities than other retailers, which would also mean that they might refine and improve their logistics and other operational kind of costs they would have around that, which is also of a benefit to them. So yeah, in a nutshell, those are the three kind of main impacts or benefits that my research could provide to society. And I have to tell you, when I kind of had the discussion with my supervisor and we kind of fleshed this out, I was mind blown. I mean, it was just like, what the hell, sort of thing, because it never crossed my mind that my research, a computer science research project, could have this kind of impact on society. I mean, potentially my research could have a positive impact on carbon emissions, or the carbon footprint, whichever verbiage you want to use. I mean, that's crazy, guys. That's massive, and this is just potential. Like, there are no guarantees. Like I said earlier, this is just potential, but still, I mean, just imagine that. Jesus. But yeah, I hope you guys found that informative and good information. And imagine you're just as surprised as I am as to the kind of impact PhD research could have, man, on society. It's crazy. But anyway, that's the end of the video. I will catch you guys in the next one. I'm signing out.